A lot of them have, of course, different reasons of how they were first introduced to Islam. Many of them I talked to, they first studied it on their own out of curiosity. And after studying it, they have peace and joy themselves.
20,000 Americans every year decide to convert to Islam. These converts say they don't regret their decision at all.
Growing numbers of young Australian men and women who are converting to Islam.
One of the world's largest religions is gaining followers from a very unlikely community. A growing number of Hispanics are changing their religion and following the teachings of Islam.
4000 personnes en moyenne chaque année, généralement des jeunes, et de culture ou de foi chrétienne choisissent de devenir musulmans.
According to a report by Faith Matters, the UK is seeing a surge in Brits converting to Islam. In the last year, around 5,200 people in Britain converted to Islam. As many as 100,000 have converted in the last decade.
Warum dennoch immer mehr Deutsche zu Moslems werden? Martin Toroxel berichtet.
It's the world's fastest growing religion, Islam.
Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world.
Islam remains the fastest growing religion.
Islam is the world's fastest growing religion.
Census suggests many of them are turning to Islam.
Islam is the fastest growing religion in all of Canada.
Islam is growing faster than ever, with some studies suggesting it could eventually become the dominant faith. RT's Polly Boyko has the story.
The number of Muslims living in Japan, though small, has more than doubled in the past decade.
How big Islam has become in Russia's capital city. Tens of thousands come to mark Ramadan, so many that some must even pray outside.
5,000 people converted to Islam in the UK.
The number of converted Muslims in Norway increased to at least 3,000 in recent years.
Despite those statistics, Islam is the fastest growing religion in Europe.
How priests and preachers enter Islam.
Many of the miracles that Jesus had done, I found them in the Quran. There were even a couple of Jesus miracles mentioned in the Quran that were not mentioned in the Bible.
What brought me to Islam is me trying to convince someone else to become a Christian.
In fact, she says it was Jesus himself who led her to Islam.
You think Jesus led you to become a Muslim?
Yes. Here in the United States, while the Muslim contingent numbers an estimated 7 to 8 million, it's growing rapidly. 20,000 new converts each year, 4 times as many women as men.
Growing numbers of white British women are converting to Islam.
I don't know if you're aware, but recently there's been a rise of Latinas converting into Islam. So why are they doing it?
Crossing over. Why so many young Australian men and women are now converting to Islam.
What prompted your decision to convert to Islam?
So what's going on? What is compelling so many young white women to convert to Islam?
Amina, Muslim Council of Britain, you converted from Christianity to Islam. Why do you believe Islam is right?
I can ask any question of Islam and it will give me a logical and scientifically proven answer.
Converting to Islam, the 100,000 converts now is up from an estimated 60,000 10 years ago. The majority are women with an average age on conversion of 27.
Venons-en au dossier de cette édition consacrée à la décision prise par 30 à 70 000 personnes en France de se convertir à l'islam.
According to that same population projection, Muslims are the only major religious group expected to grow faster than the global population as a whole.
I would like to tell you that Islam is amazingly coming up with a lot of women who are entering Islam at a time when people are saying that Islam is oppressive to women, and also the priests, preachers, ministers like myself who have come to Islam are in great numbers.
Well, our next guest did just that. After being a Catholic priest in Britain, he left to become a teacher and studied in Egypt, where he converted to Islam and became a Muslim. He is now in Ireland to spread the word of the Quran, and he joins us in studio this morning. Good morning to you.
Hello, this is Dr. Gerald Dirks, formerly the Reverend Gerald Dirks. In just a few moments here on The Dean Show, we'll be talking about my conversion to Islam. Please don't go away.
After going to Catholic school for 12 years, my faith needed a little bit more depth in it, and I was able to find it in Islam.
I had left the local church. I just decided to go to God. For no reason at all, I just went to God. in prayer and asked him that I wanted the truth, no matter what it takes. I picked up the Quran and held it to my face and kissed it. And I stated, why hasn't anyone told us about this?
Christianity is on the decline in Europe, and something else is starting to take its place. Muslims will soon outnumber practicing Christians in Europe.
As a Christian, I consider Jesus a prophet, but he's a prophet of the one God. There's not several. So, as a Christian, I worship Allah.
If you're not Muslim, stop scrolling. Listen, before I became Muslim, I thought that Allah was a different God. It's not. It's the same God. It's the creator of the universe. Because I'm Muslim now that I know this. Not just because of that, but I learned a lot about Islam, and all of my original beliefs kind of already lined up with all of it. In Christianity, I was like, when people asked me about the Trinity, I literally couldn't explain it. I was like, wow, you're right. I haven't even thought about it like that. So it makes sense. Islam makes sense. Islam is so beautifully making sense.
The name exalted over and over in Islam is Jesus.
I was told that Jesus is the Messiah who will come back at the end of time to establish the kingdom of justice and peace.
Not Muhammad?
Not Muhammad, the Christ, son of Mary. You cannot be a Muslim if you don't believe Jesus is the Messiah. It's in the Quran.
Islam is rising in Latin America. But why? Here are 5 reasons. Many Latinos do not accept the degeneracy pushed by Western pop culture. They are tired of their old dysfunctional beliefs, full of contradictions. Thanks to Turkish TV dramas, internet, and even the Football World Cup, they come into contact with Islam. Many can identify the truth, the beauty, and accept it. Many Latinos are searching the real purpose of life, and half-legged belief systems are not satisfactory. Searching, they find the truth in Islam. Many Latinos have conservative values. The only religion that maintains these values in the purest form is Islam. Because of this, they can identify with Islam.
This coming week brings one of the most important holidays for Muslims, Eid al-Fitr, which celebrates the end of the month-long Ramadan fasting. Today, Kim Lawton reports on one of the fastest-growing trends in the American Muslim community, Latinos converting to Islam.
I started reading the Quran. I read it completely. It was unbelievable. Everything started to fall in place. Everything made sense. I took the Quran and now I could say to my Bible, I know now it all works together. Now I understand. Because of the Quran, I was able to understand my Bible. And I say, oh, this is great. God is making me a good Christian. He's going to teach me through the Quran. Well, as I kept reading and kept reading, I kept reading the Quran more because it made more sense. It was easier. It was simpler. It appealed more to my heart, to my intellect, to my mind. And my Bible, I started to put it down more.
Catholic priest who was reared in California and currently resides in the United States, converted to Islam. It's like coming home, top Christian priest says after embracing Islam.
After 42 pastors and their families accept Islam in Abuja.
After spending 15 years as a priest in an Orthodox Christian church, Vladimir Urgumov has found the truth. He has been honored with the religion of Islam. The path to Allah has opened to him. A girl who lived in the neighborhood of the priest became a Muslim. And this conversion took the Orthodox preacher by surprise. And he began his journey to learn more about Islam. He wanted to know, he wanted to find out the reason so many people are turning to Islam in Western countries. So there he began his quest. As he began reading and researching into Islam, Vladimir Urgumov realized that Christianity and Islam had so many things in common. Of course, Christianity was also a religion sent down by Allah to guide the people at that time. Therefore, it'll have similarities to Islam. It is the deviated people and religious leaders who have distorted Christianity from time to time from their own convenience and comfort, misleading and misguiding the people.